Hello and welcome to Military Mantra. In today's interview, we have today Lt Col Sunil sir from the 4 Para Special Forces who have served in the Siachen. He's also an author and two-time TEDx speaker. And in this interview, we'll try to understand his journey in the Indian Army, life within Special Forces, and various life lessons that he has learned over his service. So thanks a lot, sir, for coming here and welcome.
It's a pleasure.
So, sir, if you could start telling us, how was your life before joining the army and in your childhood, how was it and how do you decide to join the Indian Army?
Okay. In fact, I am a village boy, if I have to say it, and my heart still lies there even today. I belong to a village called as Muttur, which is just outside the city of Bangalore. It falls right in the outskirts where Bangalore ends. That
Hmm.
village falls.
Okay.
That's where it is. So I was born in a place called as Vijaypura, and then my education, I grew up in my village. Fortunately, got the opportunity to get into a good school with good teachers, and all those things, it helped me in shaping up a good childhood, which was fundamental for a bright future. Fortunately, that I have today. And from my nursery to my 12th standard, I had the opportunity of studying in the same institution, which is very rare these days. 14 years I was in the same institution. So graduation went on. For the graduation, I went to Dr. Ambedkar Institute of Technology once my 12th was over. And then I joined the army. I should say the childhood was fantastic. I have had good friends, which are there. Some of them are there still in my village. And then uh, the education part, I was saying, I had the opportunity of going to that good school. It's Vivekananda School, and the teachers over there were fantastic. In fact, all of them, whenever I meet them today, they say, okay, you have done a good job, we are proud of you. And I say, whatever I am today, it's because of all of you, because you
Hmm.
are the ones that have shaped up. And despite being in village, I always had this a little bit of you know inclination towards exploring things, be it technologically or sports wise or reading books, the extracurricular activities. So I was given all these opportunities by both my parents and my teachers, and that shaped the life that I always wanted to have. That was the base that was needed. So that is built.
Got it. So if you could also tell us, what was your motivation to join the Indian Army and are there any aspects of your life which influenced you to eventually, decide that you want to join the Indian
Okay.
Army?
Indeed, I should say this. I don't know when and I don't know how. Right from my childhood, I should say, right from the day I knew the world, probably I had this inclination towards joining the Indian Army. Some of my childhood photos, if you see, uh, they have me standing in, the
Hmm.
military uniform. It was always there. I should say there was one particular turning point. It was always there whenever I saw a military man, even in my childhood when I was a school kid. I always thought, okay, this is what I want to do in my life. And probably what you decide early in your life, and if it sticks to you strongly, is where definitely you will be going. And that has been, a solid force that shaped up my journey that I have had in the Indian Army. Basically, I don't see any particular moment
Hmm.
that gave me this drive. It was innate, I should
Hmm.
say. It was there, and I just moved in the path,
Got it.
and the roads opened up.
Got it, sir. So you are also aeronautical engineer, and how did that interest, intersect with the military life that you have chosen?
In fact, I should say this: in my graduation, I was not an aeronautical engineer.
Okay.
I did my electrical and electronics engineering from Dr. Ambedkar Institute of Technology, Bangalore. And post that, when I joined the army, in the army, I was into technical arm. I am from the Corps of Electronics and Mechanical Engineers and Paratrooper as well. So through that, once I joined the army after my graduation through the technical entry, army gave me the opportunity to get into the aviation. In fact, I wanted to be an aviator, let me
Hmm.
tell you. I tried for that also, but since I was an engineer already, I was told by the army, okay, you be an engineer. If everybody goes on, to be the pilot, then who will be playing the role of
Hmm.
the engineer? That's what was told by my directorate. So I was not given the opportunity to convert myself as an aviator. But then I became an aeronautical engineer, and through the army, I did my aeronautical engineering in TIC.
Okay.
So I finished that in the year 2020 when I was serving in Siachen. So that's how I became an aeronautical engineer. It was the opportunity given by the army.
Got it.
My choice was electrical engineering in graduation. Then in the post graduation, army said, "Okay, you be this." So
Got it.
that's how it
Got
is.
So if you could go back and tell us, how was your experience in the service selection board and which entry actually you went for?
Okay. My entry was short service commission technically. In fact, there are downsides, some downsides to be from a village background. We will not know a lot of things. The way how the information flows in the right now, it's different. But earlier, during my times, in early 2000s, the information flow was not this much. We were dependent only on the TV and newspapers. That's how it is. So, because of the lack of information, I could not attempt the National Defense Academy because probably I wanted to join the army. That zeal was there, but how to join, that question always lingered. But then I was advised that you finish your graduation and you can join the army. It's okay if you could not join the army through the National Defense Academy, but you join through the other entries, like the entries of the Combined Defense Services Examination and the entries of the technical entries, TGC, TES, you can not TES, TGC, and Short Service Commission Technical. All these opportunities are there. So this was what advised. So I joined my graduation. Once my graduation was over, it was getting over, and this advertisement was published by the Indian Army Short Service Commission Technical Entry, the course 34 was advertised. So I applied for it, and while in graduation itself, I was selected, and immediately I joined. There was not even 2 months of gap post my graduation. So I joined the Indian Army. And you also asked about the Services Selection Board interview. I've had this, a special services selection board interview in which, I mean, it's special for me. Interview was, the procedure was same. It was very special for me for the simple reason that as the interview went on, it scared me a bit whether or not I'm going to get selected, because this is the fear that every candidate faces. But then came, the moment of truth. There is something called as the conference, which happens towards the end of every every services selection board interview. In the conference, I was asked multiple SRTs, that is situation reaction test is what is called as that. You are posed some situations and they ask you, the board asks you, because entire board will be sitting there right from the president. The board asks you, how are you going to react? What will be your response? Maybe that can be certain doubts that they are clearing, or they are just trying to check your confidence level. There can be multiple aspects to that. But I was asked about that. And the moment I stepped out of the interview, the conference office, wherever it happened, the conference hall, initially I thought, okay, the general tendency, you might be knowing, the general tendency is that if you are asked those questions, generally it is taken that you are selected. But immediately came the other doubt. Did I respond properly? And right from the moment I stepped out of the conference hall, till the moment the results were announced, they were the most tenseful, moments of my life, I should say. Till now, I was never more tensed, not even in the operations, I should say. Because according to you might have answered properly, but there is a possibility that the board might have looked at it from a different angle, because the board comprises of the president of the services selection board, and your group testing officers will be there, the psychologists will be there, so everybody will be there. So this was my experience, but then fortunately, I was selected.
Got it.
My performance was good over there.
So if you could also speak about, how did you specifically prepare for the psychology test, which happens there? They will show you the pictures, they will show you the words, and then you have to write in 15 seconds. You have to write your self-description, and then eventually the interview on the duty. How did you prepare?
Yes. See, This is a fantastic question that you asked, and a very important and a significant one for the aspirants. So through your podcast, I want to give a message to all of them. There are a lot of academies that have come up. You can go and train yourself for the services selection board interview. A lot of aspects that they train you upon. You get trained and yes, get selected. That's a different matter. But offer yourself in a natural, most possible manner. If you ask me, I practiced what to be written, not how to be written. That is, if a picture perception test is given to you, that is, a picture is shown and you are asked to write a story. If that is given, then it should not so happen that you have already gone there prepared and you are writing stories over there based on a template. Don't go based on templates, because service conditions are not templated. Services, whatever happens while you are in the service, those conditions are extremely dynamic. They keep on changing. They are kinetic. Templates won't work anywhere in the army, apart from, you are doing your staff work. None of the operational aspects of the armed forces is, based on the templates. If it is dynamic, then you should be adaptable. That's the quality. So that's what even I thought, that okay, you have two options when you are going for the services selection board interview. You can either go prepared properly, that go and join an academy, get trained, offer yourself in that form, or go in the most dynamic form possible, that this is how I am, going in the raw form of myself. I'm offering myself to you to check if I am fit for that particular role that you are offering me in the armed forces. That's how I went. I knew what happens over there, what are the tests, but I never sat and prepared, because I thought, if I go prepared in an artificial manner, and let us say, even if I clear the interview, but when I go to the service, these academies that prepare the candidates will not come to save them or help them, because the officer like qualities, whatever that are required over there, they have to be innate. Of course, you can mask it. That's a different matter through the training. But having said that, it is not going to help you in the long run, because you need to have the innate qualities as an officer.
Got it.
So I offered myself in the raw most possible manner, and that has helped me, because I had to serve in a lot of field areas, and each time when I went to the field areas, these are the toughest of the field areas. These are the ones that that have helped me.
Got it. So you spoke about officer-like qualities. So when there are 15 OLQs which is being tested, is what being said. So when you went there, were you already aware? And is there a possibility of other aspirants to develop those OLQs?
See, I told you, right, I was not prepared for my interview, because although the aspiration was there right from the childhood to join, but if I don't have those, I didn't know what are those qualities at the first time, because I told you, right, my background was from a village, and there was not much of chances or the opportunities for me to go and do a lot of things, go and get trained. And I decided I'll offer myself in the most possible manner. And I didn't know what were those qualities that they were looking at. But having said that, after joining the service, I didn't look at these 15 qualities as the OLQs, but there is something called as Chetwood Credo, which says the honor and the welfare and the safety of the country comes first, always and every time. Then comes the safety, honor, and the welfare of the man you command. I'm talking this from the officer's perspective. And your own personal safety, comfort, and welfare comes last. Probably all the OLQs, officer-like qualities, that the SSB speak of and the candidates speak of, which they are being trained today, they are all summed up in these three lines. Whatever you say, the honesty, integrity, loyalty, and you say it, adaptability, everything is summed up in this. Because ultimately, based on this only, the oath is administered to every officer when he gets commissioned. And the oath says, I, so and so, will observe and obey all the commands of the President of the Union of India, and that I go wherever ordered by land, sea, or air and defend the nation and the orders of the supreme commander, that is the president, and any officer set above me, even to the peril of my life. Right? There is nobody else which takes this oath of defending the nation and the constitution, even to the peril of their life, not even the prime minister of the country. It is administered only to the officers of the armed forces. So these are the qualities, that you should adapt. Be adaptable and be flexible in order to adjust to the situation. As I said, the templates won't work in the service. You have to be innovative. And of course, the loyalty and integrity, they are the cornerstones, they are the base based on which you have to build upon yourself. And that's exactly what I did. And probably I've seen the other brave hearts, some of them went on to sacrifice their lives for the country. All of them had these qualities, which I could see. And I did not see that in the perspective of SSB, but I saw them in the best possible manner live. Sacrificing the country, sacrificing a life for the nation, in the service of the nation is a very big thing. They did that. That's the loyalty. Basically, you're sticking to your oath.
Got it.
These are the qualities. Develop that in every aspect of life. Go full on. It happens. Whatever you need, you will get it. And you will definitely create the glory. It's possible.
All right, sir. So coming back to your life in the Officer Training Academy, so how was that? Any memorable instance that you have from the academy life?
Yeah, see, each day was memorable. I'll come to the first part later. Each day was memorable, I must say that, because, the training in Officers Training Academy for the Short Service Commissioned Officers is for 11 months. Okay. Whatever is needed, the permanent commissioned officers, they get trained for 1.5 years at the various academies. And if it's ex-NDA, then they will go for 4 years of training, 3 years in India and 1 year in IMA. I'm speaking purely from the Army's perspective. But for Officers Training Academy cadets, the training is only for 11 months. Whatever they do after joining the service, after getting commission, and whatever we do, the Short Service Commission, it's the same. There is no difference in the service conditions. We are all the same. We are doing the same, tasks. We are going for the same operations. There's no difference whatsoever. But the training duration based on the commission that is administered, or the Short Service Commission, is little less, 11 months. So that each day goes on in the blink of the eye. In that, you will have to learn primarily the disciplinary aspects, your weapon training, your physical training, and in that added is the academics.
Okay.
Generally, it is said that Fauj jayenge to padna nahi padega, but you must study. That's another quality that is instilled in you during the training. Even if you are not a reader, it is generally administered into you, and it will be ensured that you will become a reader, because there will be a lot of academics. So each day was so busy, and along with that, the training happens in a different way. You don't get to sleep properly. It's structured in a particular manner. It's necessary so that a cadet, when he gets commissioned as an officer, is ready for the extreme conditions. So the Officers Training Academy is that way. If you look at it, is a tough training, because the 1.5 years of training of Indian Military Academy is condensed into 11 months. That is, it is reduced by around 7 months. But you will learn everything. There is nothing that you don't learn. So there is no time for you. There is no time for yourself. And a lot of competitions keep on happening. And generally the cadets, there will be companies. You might have heard about it. Each academy is divided into battalions. Battalions have companies. So the companies have their own traditions. So basically, this will align you with the traditions that you have to carry whenever you join your battalions or the regiments when you get commissioned. So it's an alignment that is happening over there. Okay. So a lot of things keep on happening. They just happen. A day goes in the snap of the finger. And you don't get time for anything. There is no time to think. And generally, it is said that don't think, just do. That's the credo that Army lives with. Just do it. Just do it. So that's what you're prepared for. Life becomes fast forward like that. And speaking of the memorable associations or the memories, I never thought I would be doing all those activities that I did. I was made to do. There were certain things. There were some mental blockages, like the 9 feet ditch, or you go for the 10-meter jump. The initial blockages, it was there always. But then my seniors always told me, you just do it. कूदना है, आंखें बंद करके कूद जाना, पहुंच ही जाओगे. You will not die. Don't worry. There will be people that will save you. So all those things were conquered. So each and every time when that mental blockage was surpassed is a memorable incident. And there were multiple memories in which I surpassed those mental blockages, and that ultimately helped me, because I was afraid of jumping from the swimming pool platform. But then I went on to jump out of a moving aircraft. So that's a different thing altogether. And it's through these surpassing the blockages, you will conquer your fears. And there's a saying, on the other side of the fear lies the most beautiful experience of life. This is what it is. Keep on conquering, and training does that to you. It will make sure that no matter what you're scared of, you will do it and face your fears.
Got it, sir.
That's what.
So if you could tell us, from the academy, which regiments did you actually opt for? Which one you joined? And then how did you move to the paras?
See, I was an engineer, and I always wanted to join EME. That is something that I always had, because I'm an engineer and I should do the technical things, and the technical tasks are something that I always enjoy. So when I went for my declassification, if I have to tell about the declassification, it is the activity through which your arms or regiments or the corps or the services are allotted to the cadets towards the end of the training. Let us say around 10 days prior to the passing out parade. There will be a conference that happens, and officers from the MS branch, military secretary branch, they come to the academies. They'll come and show you these are the vacancies available, and before that, based on your merit, the merit list will be prepared for you. The blocks will be prepared for you. But I have been fortunate. I was an electrical and electronics engineer, and there was one seat of EME that came, which was only for me. Although I was not top, I was not the sword of honor. I was not the top, number one cadet, but it was a virtual super block for me that came because I was in the technical entry, and I was the only electrical and electronics engineer in my course. So that one seat came for me. So people were fighting. I want this. I want this. You choose this. It happens during the declassification, but I didn't have to go through it, because what I wanted, I got it. So that was a memorable experience. Coming to how I joined the para, after around 4 years of service, my first posting was in Siachen. I went and joined 17 Rajdif, which is Savaiman is what it is called as. It's a glorious battalion.
Okay.
With around more than 500 years of history. It has rich history and rich culture even today. And it was not anymore, but it was the only battalion in the Indian Army, 17 Rajdif Savaiman, with 100% Rajput composition. Earlier, it was like that. But then with time, things have changed. It will not be possible to maintain that, a purity of the troops anymore. That is, when I say purity, in terms of a particular clan that you, recruit for the battalions, it is not anymore. Now everybody has started coming, and that's the demand of the time also. So that's one. And Siachen tenure was extremely memorable. And then I went for around 7 months, I went to the CICT operations. I was site to 3 Rajdif, which is another fantastic battalion with more than 250 years of, history with that. It's called 3 Rajdif. Godstone is what it is called as.
Okay.
So I went there, and from there I went to Ranchi to 623 ME battalion, because initially you will have to do the infantry attachment, post which you will go to your whatever the parent service that is there. Infantry attachment is mandatory for every officer who gets commissioned to. So infantry attachment is mandatory for all the officers that get commissioned into the services. When I say services in the army, they are EME, Ordnance, and the core of ASE, that is Army Service Corps. So I was into EME, and we all go for 2 years of infantry attachment. That is to know what are the operational aspects of the services, because ultimately the operations run based on what infantry does, because they are the ultimate conquerors towards the end of the day. It's called as the queen of the queen in chess, right?
Yeah.
The most powerful. So it's the infantry that is most powerful. They are the ones that run the show and call the shots. So I went there, and we will know how they function, what happens, and how the operational aspects differ between various regiments, and what are the qualities that we as the personnel, the officers from the services should know in order to have successful operations. So you will learn all these things over there. So this is what has happened, and then came, after 4 years of service in the year 2015, it was never on my mind that I should go to the special forces, because I was more inclined towards aviation.
Mhm.
That was my first love. But then came the posting. I got my posting into Fort Para SF as an engineer. There is something called as a field repair increment, which is an innate part of the special forces battalion, with the technicians being there, because special forces have specialized equipment, and for the maintenance of those equipment, the officers, the technicians are posted, and there will be an officer over them. So I got my posting into the special forces, and once I went there, my perception has changed.
Got it.
Then I went on to doing my tasks over there, and then I went for my probation also, and then I did my jumps also. It all happened. I told you, right? If something is destined, it will happen.
Mhm.
And it was always there, that jealousy factors towards when I was a non-paratrooper. The jealousy factor was there. I wish I had that maroon beret. But then fortunately, I got it, during my tenure with Fort Para Special Forces.
Got it.
I got it. So that's how it happened. I didn't go, but I was sent, and then I did whatever needs to be done, and things happened.
Got it, sir. So if you could also speak about, how was your experience during the probation
Yeah.
in the Fort Para,
Yeah.
and any moments which is still fresh in your memory?
A lot of them. And for your information, I didn't do probation in Fort Para SF, because I told you, right? I am from EME. So I did my probation with the EME.
Okay.
There is a brigade which has a para brigade,
Okay.
the world knows. Para brigade has lot of elements
Okay.
of the paratrooping. That is to say, there is a EME element also. There is an EME element in the para brigade. So every EME officer or the technician, if he has to get his maroon beret, he has to go and clear the probation over there in Agra, to go there. So that's where I did my probation. But then, with the troops, we do everything, that they do. And probation has been memorable. I got injured also once, and then I went back again. And that injury that I suffered, I'm struggling with that even today. But having said that, when you get your maroon beret, that masks everything out, and it is tough. It is not going to be easy. Probation is not going to be easy for anyone, and it went on well. Time, it will be generally, you feel that your day is halved. The day is reduced to 12 hours. That's how fast it is, and that's how engaging it is. And it will be ensured during the probation that you are taken to your limits, be it the physical activities or the mental activities. You will not be allowed to sleep. Then you will be made to do a lot of tasks. You will be overloaded with the tasks. And if you do not complete those tasks, then you are punished in a different way. I mean, when I say punishment, not like the civil parlance, then we have our own punishment methods in the army. It's all basically trying to check to what extent you can take it, and what is the the strength of the fuse that you have, where you will dissolve yourself, where you will break. So you are taken to the extremes, you are taken to the limits of both your physical and mental capabilities. But then towards the end of it, when you get what you want, that will be the happiest moment of life. So it's tough, but yet if you get it, it's memorable. Even if you don't get it, I'm telling you, attempting itself, attempting for that itself will be something that you should be proud of, because not many attempt that.
Got it.
So it has been memorable. Each moment is memorable. You will not forget any of them. You will not forget, because the moment you enter into the workshop, para workshop, then you are right from the gate. It will start. Your probation will start. You will not walk. You will go rolling. Okay, and then slowly it will build up. and then it will get into its own pace. Lot of tests every week. You'll have to clear your test. Then a lot of route marches, like your 10-kilometer route march, 20, and then 25 kilometers, 30, 40 kilometers route march. You'll have to complete all these tests over there. Along with that, every day your physical activity, continuously you are engaged. Continuously you are engaged, which you think when you initially go will not be possible. But then, that's the reason why I wrote the book. It's all here. It's all here. I will talk about it later. But then ultimately, if you have that mental strength, you can do whatever you want. Even if the body breaks, this will keep you going. It's possible. It'll keep you going.
Got it.
So that's that.
So if you can ask, what are the qualities that are actually looking for in the probation when they select you?
Yeah, see, firstly, the para regiment is the one that is airborne. And then special forces, their aspects are different. When you go for your probation, firstly, it is basically checked what is your mental caliber. There is this misconception that yes, you are physically fit and then you are selected. It's wrong. It's not like that. What is looked at is how accommodative you are to the new ideas, how tough you are mentally, what is your mental fortitude. Secondly, if you can lead the paratroopers. Leading soldiers is different and leading the paratroopers is different because they are tough nuts. And the officers have to be of the same caliber, let me tell you. So it is checked when you go for your probation if you have it in you. Being officer is one, and then being a paratrooper is a different thing altogether. So it is checked whether you have it in you, and how good you can lead the paratroopers is one aspect. Your mental fortitude, as I said, that is the second aspect. And thirdly, how brave you are. It is checked because you will be jumping out of a moving aircraft and you are, deployed behind the enemy lines. That's what the para regiment does. In case of war, like right now, operations are going. If they go full throttle, then ultimately all these things will happen. You are dropped behind the enemy lines and you will be operating over there. Can you survive over there? Which is the most important aspect because you will not be going alone. You'll be going with your troops. Can you lead them in those conditions? Leading them into the battle is one on your own territory, on your land. But in the enemy land, do you have it in you to lead them and carry out a successful operation behind the enemy lines? That is the thing. In a nutshell, if I have to say, is what you are checked with. So now imagine for that how tough one must be. So that's what is looked at, and you may be physically the fittest, but you will not be selected. If you don't have, these accommodative qualities, if you don't have those leadership qualities, because not every physically fit person is a leader. And not every person who is physically not that fit is not a leader. I've seen people who, improved themselves. I was not physically extremely fit. I was not that fit. But then came a time, when I could beat people. Whoever was, fitter than me, I could beat those people in the competitions. So ultimately, as I said, the para will test you, but then you have to have it here. That yes, I can do it, and then your body will obey. Your body will obey.
Got it, sir.
That's what is checked in the probation.
Got it. So since you're also a paratrooper, how was your first experience when you jumped off an aircraft and the subsequent jumps that you did?
See, your first jump, you will not know what happens over there because it's all new, and you're also waiting extreme adrenaline rush. You're sitting at the edge of a fast moving aircraft, and there'll be instructors. Hesitation will be there for everyone, let me tell you. Okay, because your first time in your life, there is an aircraft moving and you're sitting at the edge, the gush is hitting your face, and you're jumping out of the aircraft with a parachute. You don't know what happens later. That happens, they'll just send you out. But now that you have that experience, the actual thing happens. The reality hits you during your second jump. Second jump is the one that everybody is mostly what I have spoken of and I have seen of. Second jump is the one that everybody is scared of. Let me okay, and even I had those scary moments. The moment that is done, then you are out of the aircraft, do your drills, when you are in the air, and then land happily. Then you will start enjoying it slowly. And then comes the night jump part. Okay, there is something called as the night jump that we'll have to do. When you go for the night jump, you don't know when you're reaching the land because there will be nothing visible. Okay, so that is a little scary. But having said that, that will be an experience in itself because people go, they do their adventures, they'll pay, they'll go abroad, they'll jump, they post the videos. That's all onto one side. Try jumping in the night once. Okay, if you really want to test your limits, try jumping in the night because night jumps are the things. And the paratroopers are trained for the night jumps because whenever the operations happen, you'll be dropped during the night. You will not be jumping into the enemy territory during the day. It will not be possible because you'll be shot down. You'll be a sitting duck, or rather, you'll be a slowly moving bird in the air, and they will take pot shots at you. Now it's for that, go during your basics, and then when you go for your refreshers or when you go for your, advanced jumps, like your combat free fall and everything, you'll be made to jump in the night because ultimately that's the reality. That's the reality that you are made to jump in the night into the enemy territory. So these are the experiences. First jump is okay. You will not know what has happened, but then the second jump you will know what is happening. Then you will start enjoying it. That's the the procedure.
So you have been in the engineers, then you worked with the infantry as well.
I was in EME.
Yeah, and you are also worked with the infantry when you were in the Siachen, and then the Parachute Regiment. So how is Parachute Regiment different from the other units when you see them?
See, I told you right. They're all volunteers who have put themselves through the toughest possible tests for checking their own limitations, and they have overcome all of it. Okay, so stepping into a parachute regiment itself will give you a different energy. You just step in and see a paratrooper walking over there. That itself is a different world altogether inside. Generally, the physical training everywhere happens for around 40 to 45 minutes. But each battalion has their own regimes, and every day the physical training in the morning in the parachute regiments happen for near about 2 hours. Okay, it starts from there. Then there are operational aspects. They are deployed at different places. The weapon training and the training on the special equipment that they are carrying out. The tactics training. The special forces tactics are different. They don't operate like the infantry because ultimately when all doors close, it's the special forces that come and open those doors, or they'll create a door if it can't be opened. That's what it is for. Okay. So they're all specialized. And speaking of my battalion, when I reached there, I was scared because when I went there, I was not a paratrooper at that time. I was initially scared. I didn't know where I was, landing, and I had no idea what it is like. But then once you are accepted as their own, okay, then it's a different experience altogether. It's a different world altogether, and you will get to see all the aspects of the special forces, and then ultimately you will become one of them if you spend some time with them. So it was fantastic.
Got it, sir. So when you were a young officer and you saw combat in front of you for the first time, the firefighting, what was going in your mind, and how did you handle that situation, and then went into other combat?
Yeah, this happened when I was there in US sector. Every day, the patrollings and the ambushes were happening because we were into the thick of the CICT operations during that time. I am talking of 2012. Okay, so my coursemate Navdeep Singh, apparently he had made the ultimate sacrifice in the year 2011.
Okay.
5 months after the commissioning, it was during that, and after almost a year or less than 11 months from that time, I ended up in the same sector. So thick of the operations were going on like that. Then there have been incidences when you are sitting in your post and suddenly ceasefire violations happen. The bullets start flying from the enemy side, and then you are in the ambush. I can't give the the details of the operations particularly for obvious reasons. But then you are sitting in an ambush and you know that a terrorist is coming and you are springing the ambush. When that happens, it is that moment of first firing of the bullet, which is, probably nothing gives you more adrenaline rush than that. Then you are at the heights of your senses. Your sense will be extremely alert because you know that there is a combat that is going to take place. So my first experience was the ceasefire violation that happened when I was in the forward post. But then, the troops that you command, they know that the officer is young.
Yeah.
He is brave. He has the qualities, but he is young, and they have seen it for 20, 25 years. Even before I joined, they were there in the service for that long. I must thank my JCOs. They stood behind my NCOs also, some of them, both in Siachen and when I was in the Brigade sector, and also definitely Para is a different world altogether. So I must say that they all stood and they guided. They guided exactly what needs to be done, how the situations are controlled, how to take control of the situation that can potentially slip out. Because generally, in the CICT environment, the moment the ceasefire is broken, it is said that an infiltration attempt is happening. So it's under the cover of ceasefire the terrorists infiltrate. That happens even today. Okay, so one is plotting their ceasefire, and you will have to counter that. But along with that, a different vigil needs to be kept if in your area of responsibility any ceasefire is happening. And as the commander of a company in CICT environment, you will have to tell all the posts. You will have to tell them that, okay, be alert, be vigilant, and also in the likely routes that we know, we will have to deploy our ambush parties, and they will go immediately. So a lot of responsibility when that happens, and I've been in the thick of a lot of such operations that went on, and each one of them have been memorable. I'll never forget any of them.
Got it.
I'll never forget any of them. And people say Siachen is tough, but my tenure in the Brigade sector was much tougher, I should say. Because sitting in a CICT environment in a winter cutoff post, which is very close to the enemy area, they can also have, there is something called as a bat action. We were always, vulnerable. The bat action, basically the bat of Pakistan is their special forces plus terrorists, they come together. And generally when the bat actions happen, they cut the heads and they take away. We'll have to thwart that, right? So highest of the responsibilities, both for the place where you are sitting, because you will have to defend that. You'll have to defend your area. You'll have to dominate your area, and it's a question of the life of each man that I am commanding. So those lives must be saved. We have to fight. So extreme responsibility at a very young age of around 24 years, and it turned the life into a different direction. There have been a lot of operations that I saw. I've seen terrorists dying in front of me, and things have been fantastic.
Got it, sir. So you have been to Siachen twice. You have been posted twice there, the highest battlefield.
Yeah.
And how did you mentally and physically prepare yourself before you went there and eventually went there?
When I went there for the first time, that was in the year 2011, straight after my training, I went to Siachen straight away. The first posting was into Siachen, and I didn't have to prepare much because anyway, when you are straight out from the academy, you are physically fit, generally speaking, unless there is something related to high altitudes, which you will come to know once after reaching there. If there is any innate health issue that you are not aware of, which happens only in the high altitudes when you reach there. Fortunately, I didn't have any such place, and it was my dream whenever I read about it during my school days or during my college days. Whenever I read about Siachen being the world's highest battlefield, it was my dream that yes, someday, if not as an army man, at least as a civilian, if I don't get into the forces, I must visit that place. This was my dream. So that motivation was anyway there. And I was the happiest when I came to know that as part of my infantry attachment, I am getting into the Siachen. I was getting deployed into the glacier, which is a privilege in itself because probably no other army in the world is operating in the depths of the glacier, so deep inside the glaciers, the way how Indian Army is operating today. Pakistanis are there, but their areas are not as challenging as we are, because that's exactly what happened in 1984. right? So we captured the highest of and the toughest of the post, Bana post being one of them, and Ashok post, Amar post, all these posts, they are at 21,000 feet, 22,000 feet altitude. That's where Indian Army is deployed at, and there is no other army that is operating at such altitudes. So I was very proud, the moment that posting came, and I should say a little scared because I didn't know, what is going to happen. And I always believe that fear must be there. That keeps you alert. That will not let you be, a bravado and say, okay, I'll go and do it all. So that little bit of fear was always there. But then, fortunately, I got deployed for the first time as a young officer, and I also went on to become the company commander. In my very first posting, I was a company commander in one of the complexes in Siachen, and that was the first experience. And fortunately, we did a lot of things over there. There was no ceasefire violation as such because the way how it is and the way what I saw, there is no ceasefire violation that happened from almost 2001 or 2002. So there was no firing incident, but then you will have to keep the vigil on the enemy activities. So that's exactly what Indian Army is doing over there.
Okay.
And we have done a lot of patrollings over there, and a lot of recce's over there, and a lot of activities had to be done. Patrollings were required both for ferrying the logistics to your post, and it is advised that you do some of those activities instead of being stagnant, because being stagnant is the greatest culprit. It will potentially kill a soldier if he is stagnant in the glacier. It's important that you move because the place that you have is very small. So for the purpose of patrolling, you keep moving out of your post and then you keep coming back. The terrain is very challenging, but then you'll have to keep doing that. So this is about the first part of my Siachen. But then, as an aeronautical engineer, I went there for the second time.
Okay.
That was in the year 2020. Immediately after COVID, I went there for the second time, but this time for a different role, because where my flight was, we are the first responders to any eventuality that happens inside the glacier as an aeronautical, independent flight. So it is located little away from the Siachen base camp for the purpose of the maintenance of the aircrafts, because ferrying the logistics straight to Siachen base camp at times will become different. So you maintain your helicopters in this base, and from here you will send your aircrafts. They'll stay there for a few days, and whatever needs to, there will be a team of technicians which will ultimately be under the control of the senior technical officer or the engineering officer, which I was. And your team is there. It is maintaining the aircrafts in the base camp, which is responsible for ferrying the the logistics, also for the casualty evacuations. And I have been fortunate that my aircrafts have saved the lives of more than 100 soldiers when I was there. That's a different satisfaction altogether, because Siachen is such a bad place as far as the altitude is concerned, that without any reason you can die suddenly. I've seen people, who were healthy till now, and within next hour they're gone. Anything can happen, and a lot of people have died in front of me. Fortunately, it did not happen with me, but I've heard there'll be a lot of battalions that are deployed next to you. In those battalions that have happened, people died of sudden cardiac arrest.
Okay.
They died of there is something called as HAPO. That is high altitude pulmonary edema and high altitude cerebral edema. Brain clots happen in the high altitudes when you go for the altitudes of Siachen, which is 18, 19,000 feet. Okay. So all these things happen, and I have seen people dying over there. But such people need immediate evacuation, and the only way that is available is through your helicopters. So my helicopters have been the first responders, and a lot of casualty evacuations. They keep on happening on daily basis over there. No matter how fit you are, I told you, right? There are certain things that you will not know. Even if you're following all the routines and all the drills properly, Siachen can still kill you. That's the danger of that place. So my aircrafts have been the lifesavers, and even today, some of them, whom I knew who were evacuated to the hospitals, they call me and they say, "Sir, thank you." Pilots went and they picked it, and then they know that engineers have their own role, and some of them who were evacuated, I knew them personally. Even before I went there, they were there deployed in Balidan. They say thank you, and probably for an officer, there can't be a bigger medal than that. that you saved lives and they are living with their families happily today. Otherwise, who would have died without that evacuation?
Got it.
So extreme satisfaction comes in those forms. So I consider myself lucky that way.
Got it. So during your operations in the Siachen or outside, any mission, any operation you did which you tested your leadership or resilience?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There have been a lot of them. In Siachen, when I was there, there is a patrol called a shift top patrol. That is, my post was at a particular place, and there is a place called a shift top in Siachen. Being from where you can dominate Pakistan through observation and fire also, if you can, create a post over there. For almost last 4 years, nobody could go there. The terrain was so tough over there that 4 years prior to that was the time when the last patrolling had happened. So that particular mission had to be taken, and the men that I commanded, they said, "सब चलो करते हैं, ऐसा क्या है, हम भी देख ही लेंगे, इतना टफ है तो मतलब अगर वो मुश्किल है तो हमें करना ही पड़ेगा." I mean, the troops of my battalion, 17th Rajasthan, they said that. And then when they know that you can lead, and when they are saying we want to do it, as an officer, there can't be anything happier, or there can't be anything braver, a task that you can be asking. So we went and successfully, we completed the patrol. You can imagine, for last 4 years nobody could do it, but then we did it. So many battalions, 4 years means 8 battalions couldn't do it prior to us, and then we did it. So you can imagine how tough it would be. And then that was one of the toughest, missions that I led. And then fortunately, nothing has happened. Nothing went wrong. Everything went, as we planned. We took our own sweet time in Siachen. Well, let me tell you, we had to, vertically climb for near about 3,000 feet. The vertical climb. Okay. So my post was at around 18,500 feet. That particular place was at around 21,500 feet. We had to go there just to see what is there, because there is a possibility that from the other side enemy might have come there and he has established something over there. It's very important that you go and you check it, right? So for that reason we had to do it, and fortunately there was no such thing that has happened, and that instilled a lot of confidence in my troops that I commanded. And that was one of the most memorable, because doing things, going for operations are different, but then going for operations in Siachen is different, and doing something that not many people could do even in Siachen, because going to Siachen itself is a great experience, right? It puts you in that elite list. Going for the second time, that put me in another elite list. But then doing these things, in your very first posting, that gives you an extreme confidence of, extreme confidence as a leader, for your future as an officer and the leader in the armed forces. So I got all these experiences. And resilience, yes, when you said resilience, once when we tried to do it, we failed. We could not do it because it was that tough. But then we went for the second time. And resilience is all about not giving up when your chips are down. Or rather, it's about continuing, even if you know that you can't do it, right? So we did that. So that is one of the most memorable experiences that I had in my life.
So what was your favorite weapon back then whenever you went for
See, my favorite will always remain AK-47. There is no doubts about it. And in the training, I was a marksman. Whenever I fire, I was a marksman. Then in special forces, we have the Tavor. And I'm speaking of the personal weapons. The Tavor has been my another favorite. And there is this M4 gun also, M4 rifle, which is another one. So these three are my favorites, and I always rank AK-47 as my most favorite weapon.
Got it, sir. Sir, about what is happening recently from the Falgam attack to what the operations that we have led, how is your reading about it? What is your perspective on that?
See, we can expect it anytime, that this is what they are capable of. They can't fight a proper war, and they have all the qualities of a fox. That is, they will trap you, then they will make you respond, and then they will go in front of the world, and then they'll cry that India has been the aggressor. We ourselves are the victims of the terrorism, but it's India that is hitting us. And now we have hit them in an unprecedented manner. It is such an unprecedented manner that they never imagined that we can go deep inside Pakistan and hit their Air Force bases. A lot of Air Force bases of Pakistan are destroyed. A lot of their madrasas where they train the terrorists have been demolished, including the happiest scene was Masood Azhar crying, I wish I was also dead. And that's the truth, right? His family is wiped out. So I want the world to know that, they should imagine the amount of pain that the family members of those people whom his outfit has killed. He has been doing all these things all through, right? So many families, including, Lieutenant Vinay Narwal's wife and his father. We all have seen, his father doing his Asti Visarjan, that young woman who is, married just 6 days ago, sitting next to his husband's dead body and she doesn't know what to do. She was in shock, right? These are the havocs that they created, and they are being given befitted replace. And I say, no ceasefire, nothing. We don't need anybody's help. The entire country is saying this. I'm not being a warmonger, because warmongers are those who say we want war for no reason. But I'm saying this. I'm still a reservist. I have the reserve liability of the Indian Army even for next 2 years, and I'm ready to go right now. If a call comes, I'm ready to go right now, although I'm retired. Okay. I say we have got that leverage right now. Exploit that leverage and bring this operation to a fruitful conclusion. There will not be a better time than this to finish the things. We have got the air superiority, we got the naval superiority, and we got the land superiority as well. So there won't be a better time to get the enemy in his weakest point. So go get them. This is the time. And entire countries with the government, they should not go for ceasefire, Anthony. The ceasefire is, I don't know how it is brokered, what are the conditions. Whatever you want to do in the future, that's a different matter, right? But right now, whatever is there in your hand, if it is left out, then probably we may not get another opportunity like this, because they will get reorganized. That's the capability. You hit them once and defeat them, they'll come back. But why are you letting them escape this time? They may request you, but don't honor their request. Don't honor their request. The nuclear bogey has been called out multiple times. They won't be able to do anything. So let's not be scared of it.
Got it. So, from your 14 years of experience in the army, if I can ask you any 3 life lessons that you have learned and you still cherish and you want to pass on to other people.
Yeah, absolutely. The first life lesson is do whatever you have to do. And the second life lesson is do whatever you have to do for the rightful cause. Don't do anything without a cause, just like that. And thirdly, be conscious, know what is happening, and act accordingly. And in these 3 lessons that I have learned, all the qualities, if you sit and analyze, are encompassed. All the qualities that are needed for a good life are encompassed in this. Do the right thing, that is important, and do for a cause. Do for a cause, because the cause is very important. Doing that particular thing for a cause with a conscious mind. Being conscious is knowing why you are doing it and what you have to do. So there is nothing haphazard that can happen in life. Life has to be, it has to be streamlined. We as humans, we have to, streamline it. No matter whether we are in military or we are in the civil life, be conscious and do things for the rightful cause and know what you have to do properly. Then probably you don't have to fear anything, and you will succeed in whatever you have to.
Got it.
These are my lessons.
Got it. So you're now also an author. What inspired you to write the book, All Mind Over Matter?
I told you, the very inspiration was when I didn't know to what extent I can stretch myself, right? And there came a lot of times when I was tested for my limits, and I realized the power of the mind, using which you can do a lot of things. And that's the reason it's one mind over all matters. When I say matters, all the physical things that you do, but it's one mind that can control everything, right? So those experiences, both in the army and then, after my retirement, it was always there that, I should pen down whatever the experiences and the thoughts that I have in my mind so that the world should know. And it's for that reason I started writing the books, and the first book is out now, and it has already become an Amazon bestseller. And there will be a lot of books that I'll be writing. The second book is already under preparation, and
Okay.
this One Mind Over All Matters is a series
Travel.
for leadership development. There are multiple aspects like discipline for leadership, commitment for leadership, and as you said, the resilience for leadership. All these aspects, they'll be covered well. And the second book is in the offing, and I will announce the date of release of the book very soon.
Got it.
It's under preparation
Got it.
right now, and the response has been fantastic for the first book. So the reason for writing the book is this, that I should say everybody should write a book, because everybody has experiences. They must pen it down, and we as human beings, we learn from experiences. And they say learn from mistakes, but mistake is an experience. We should learn from experiences. So whether it's my experience or your experience or anybody else's experience, how will you reach a vast audience? How will you reach a vast lot of people? It is only through the books, because books even today are the greatest and the most pleasant media of expression as far as the human emotions are concerned. So that's the reason why I wrote the book, and I'll keep on writing.
Got it.
Keep on writing.
Got it, sir.
I want to become a full-time author also, along with whatever I am doing. I want to become a full-time author. That has already begun. That I'll be anymore from now on.
Got it, sir. Sir, you were a short service commission officer, and now you have transitioned into the civil world. How did that transition look like, and how did you prepare for that?
There's no preparation. The experiences that you as the armed forces officer and a veteran has is something that is very special. I must say this, and there will be opportunities, and world needs the people who can be committed and who can actually lead with fresh ideas in mind. So that transition happened, and the experiences that you get, I always tell it to all the officers: when you are in service, don't waste your time. You must prepare, because ultimately I look at life in a very simplistic manner, and it is my funda is very simple, that live today in a good manner and be little prepared for tomorrow. So I tell this to everyone, that they should be prepared for whatever is coming. It cannot so happen that yes, I'm comfortable today and this is how it is going to. No, life doesn't owe you anything. The world doesn't owe anybody anything. The world does its things, but how prepared are you for yourself when the world does its own things? You'll have to respond. How prepared are you for that? Of course, we will not know everything, but somewhere we can be a little prepared, which can potentially put us in a better place, right? So that's my advice that I keep on giving to everyone. Don't waste time and prepare. That's exactly what I did. I did my MBA when I was in. I was not ready to leave. It was a permanent commission opti, and after my retirement, that's a different story altogether. A funny story. After my retirement, I got my permanent commission also.
Okay.
So that is under consideration right now. Certain procedural things are happening right now. So, notwithstanding, while I was in service, somehow I prepared myself unknowingly, that you keep abreast with whatever the latest that is happening. So I did my MBA for my transition, and then I also did my MTech while in service. So that made me double postgraduate degree holder, along with a bachelor's in engineering anyway, and other qualifications that the army gave me. So that my transition has been extremely smooth, and aeronautical engineering is the future. That's where the world is going to be, because you are seeing what is happening in the aeronautics in the present Operation Sindoor that is going on. So that's the future. So always be prepared, and this is one lucrative arena that everybody should explore. It doesn't need you to be an aeronautical engineering graduate to get into aviation. You can acquire the skills through the certifications and learn the practical aspects of it. And if you can get into aviation, aviation is a fantastic domain for everyone, and everyone should look into exploring it.
Got it. Got it. So small rapid fire. Like, if there is any misconception you think people have about army or special forces, which you would like to address?
It's only physical. That's what the misconception that they have. But I'm telling you, it's all mental. But if you're mentally prepared, your body will obey it.
Sir, any moment in your career which you still feel very proud about?
when I got a call from one of the persons that my helicopters saved, who was evacuated from the Siachen Glacier, and he said, "Saab, thank you. आपकी वजह से मेरी जान बच गई." So I'm proud of it, and they still keep calling me. Not just one, few people are there, who have my contact number, and they keep on calling me, and they say, "Saab, thank you. Our life was saved. We are with our families because of you," and that's the proudest moment, and that's the greatest medal.
Got it. So how do you keep yourself motivated and disciplined in your daily life?
See, it's a routine that you have to set,
Hmm.
and discipline, according to me, is getting used to the routine. There will be days when you don't want to do things, but especially under those circumstances, you will have to do the things, right? So I've committed myself to not to skip whatever the routines that I have to do, and not getting bored with the routine is what keeps me motivated and disciplined.
Got it. So yeah, I see a lot of books that you have kept there.
Yeah.
Which is your favorite book?
I have this one book by Tony Robbins,
Okay.
Awaken the Giant Within.
Okay.
Everybody must read that. It's a big book, and he's one of the best trainer and the motivation speaker in the world. I consider him as my personal guru just by his books and videos.
Wow.
So everybody must read that. Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins.
Got it. So any one hobby which you enjoy the most?
I am a singer.
Okay.
And I'm a guitarist also. Singing and guitaring. Now that my son is he's 11 months old, somehow I am getting the feel that he's enjoying it. So singing for him is my favorite hobby now.
Got it.
So singing, music has always been my most favorite hobby.
Got it. So one person who inspires you a lot, who would that be?
I can't say one. There have been a lot, and of course there is father, and then a lot of people who have been my mentors. So saying one name will be that will be injustice
Got it.
for a lot of people, and I'm sure there can't be one person for anyone. As you move ahead in life, you will get people. It is said, right, when the disciple is ready, the master arrives. So I have had these moments in my life. Masters keep on coming at the right time. Probably I was ready at that time, and a lot of people came. There have been multiple people, and each one of them are very special to me. So naming one will be injustice to all of them.
Got it, sir. So one mantra which you still live by.
Karmanye vadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Do your thing and leave the result to the God.
Got
He
it.
will take it. Just do your action.
Right, sir. So the last question, because most of the aspirants will be watching it, what tips you would like to give to them who wants to join the forces?
The misconception is that being physically fit will take you for a long ride in the or it'll take you ahead in the services. No, have the qualities, and you must always be a person or a soldier with integrity. So develop the qualities of integrity and loyalty. Always try to be selfless. That is the most important quality, because the moment you start being selfless, rest of the qualities will anyway fit in. That selfless service mentality must be developed, and don't try to train yourself too much for for fulfilling your ambition of getting into the forces. Offer yourself as just like a novice who knows nothing, and let the boards that choose you, let them do their job, and if you have it in you, you will be selected. If you train yourself too much, then initially you may get through your training, but it may so happen that in the service, when the moment of truth comes, you may not be able to withstand that. You may not be able to face it. So don't train yourself too much. Offer yourself in the raw most possible way. Face the test. Go there only if you are really willing to go. Otherwise, don't go there just to get a job, because service is not a job. That's why it's called as a service. If you want money, you can earn it anywhere. But if you really want to serve the nation, which is happening right now, everybody is seeing the might of Indian Armed Forces. If you think you can do it, go only for that. Otherwise, don't go.
Got it, sir. So thanks a lot, sir, for coming here and sharing your experiences.
My pleasure.
And I hope a lot of people who are watching this will get inspired and join the forces.
My
Thanks
pleasure.
a lot, sir.
My pleasure. Thank you.